first thing, I know in your first CD you told us about why you named the Dusty Foot Philosopher. Like the first stigma of like feast. Why did you name it Troubadour?
Troubadour, the meaning is it's a wanderer. A musician poet who's a wanderer. And it seemed like a true good continuation from the Dusty Foot Philosopher. Now coming to, wandering and coming here to reveal, I think, kind of open the curtain on a new sound. Yeah.
I know you, in your first CD, described hip-hop as half-assed. So you want to elaborate on that? Like, what do you think is wrong with hip-hop?
Well, I just think it's just real one-sided. It's real McDonald's and not enough home cooks. It's real Republican and not enough, democracy in it. Absolutely. Many things I think were wrong with it. We're changing that.
So I personally think a lot that your style is very similar to Eminem's and how you look.
Oh, you do?
So I was just wondering who are your influences? Maybe like old school MCs or or even African music. Who would you say your biggest influences are?
Fela Kuti, one of my biggest influences. Incredible, 28 albums or so. You should check him out. He created what is known now as Afrobeat. Bob Marley, one of my influences. Bob Dylan, one of my influences. Nina Simone, Nas. Eminem's not one of my influences, but I actually like him a lot. I think he's clever.
So I read somewhere that you were a huge fan of Pablo Neruda.
Oh yeah. I used to have beef about Pablo Neruda. You know why? Because when you are a poet, right, and you are always in some kind of an internal competition with something, right? You're always looking at the perfect sentences that someone else had written, and you say, "My God, I'm a piece of shit. I need to do something with my life." And every time I read Pablo Neruda, I felt like that, and I thought, why did he have to die? Because if he didn't die, then maybe I could prove it one day that I could be just as good or something. That was why I had beef with him.
I know what we hear on the news and what is reported isn't always accurate. So would you want to give us? I know it's probably a lot to ask, but like a really quick rundown of what you think actually is the actual situation in Somalia right now. Maybe what the U.S. can do to help it out.
Well, Somalia has got a lot of issues that I think are undiscussed. Somalia is one of those countries that IMF and World Bank and foreign debt has put into a bad position. A lot of countries have gone through that, and they're still going through it. Somalia is one of those whose prominent issue has to do with money lenders, right? Because money lenders will be in Africa, such as IMF, right? And they will lend money, unaccountable kind of funds to dictatorships, and then they will say that the people of the country owe that money when the dictatorship fails, right? So we're living with that right now, and so there's an economic crisis in Somalia which produces violent people. Because if you have nothing to eat, you're going to be angry. What did Bob Marley say? And a hungry man is an angry man.
Alright, so you taught yourself English from listening to rap albums. Obviously, probably someone helped you out. Would you describe really quickly the process of moving from not knowing a single word to like what you listen to and try to.
It was fucking hard, is what I tell you that much. It was just like I started from, literally being deaf, not knowing. I understood yes and no, maybe universal. Everybody kind of understands that, but nothing else. If you had constructed a sentence, I would just be like, tell you a quick story. I was once I loved skating, so I was at a skating ring that was in my neighborhood. We lived in kind of a ghetto neighborhood with all the Somalis, and it was strange, but we had a skating ring. So I love skating and I wanted to go skate. I remember I got myself some skates. I put them on, and I didn't know what else to do at all, and no one to tell me what. So there was a guy there who was speaking to me in English, and he was saying, "You have to walk. You have to kind of like walk on the ice and try to keep yourself up. That is the object of skating." And I kind of knew that that's what you had to do, but because he stopped me, because I was just kind of looking at the ice like, what the fuck should I do? He says walk, and he understood that I didn't understand, but he thought maybe I'll understand walk, so he kept saying walk. And then I thought you had to work to get on the ice, and I was like, that sucks. I sat back down and I was like, did everybody have to work to get on the ice? Like, that's how bad English was for me. And then I eventually learned. I listened to music. I picked up books, words, newspapers, TV. And as soon as I learned to make constructive sentences, I just got obsessed with literature. And just literature really took me to where I feel I could have articulated myself.
Literature's now, returning the favor. I actually am reading a book for one of my hip-hop classes, and the first chapter is on you. It's called The Dusty Flow.
Whoa!
It's called Global Linguistic Flows. It's written by...
That's incredible.
Yeah, I had tickets to your concert before I read this, and I'm like, shit, I'm gonna come in Monday and be like, look, I met this dude.
Well, I had no idea that's... There's a chapter on...
It's about
Shit! I heard they teach some class in Europe with some of my lyrics. It's kind of crazy.
It's incredible.
That's ridiculous. Thanks.
My last question, I really want to know, my friends really want to know, it might be hard, but if you could list your top 3 current and then top 3 overall MCs of all time.
They have to be MCs. I don't really like MCs so much, to be honest. Shit. Anybody, it's easier for me, but MCs I really don't really listen to that much. But I'll give you MCs. You want top 3 now? I mean, top 3 now. MCs: Lupe Fiasco, MF Doom.
Love MF Doom. I love
J Electronica.
How about top 3 anybody?
Top 3 anybody? Jeez, man. There's never a top 3. Top 3 anybody would be Dylan, Marley, Fela Kuti.
And then, actually, I just piqued my curiosity. What you say you don't listen to MCs that much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, from my limited perspective, I feel like MCs are like most, not most, but like very big. Who do you listen to? What do you listen to?
I really don't listen to hip hop that much.
Really?
Yeah. Just music, like all kinds of music, like good music. I have like really like weird records, rock. I have some hip hop, like usually it's older hip hop, like Gangstar, Hard to Earn, Primo, that kind of world. But I like, fado music from Portugal to jazz, Nina Simone and really good artists. Yeah. Okay.
Great, thank you so much.
That was
You guys want this up too?